Thank you so much. My name is Andrew Lonsbury. I get to serve as one of your elders and as the finance chair. And so we have some special announcements today. And Steve and I want to talk a little bit about the next fiscal year. And want to start by saying that welcome, whether you've been with us for a long time or whether you're new to Genesis, you likely know that we are all about new beginnings. And it feels like a little bit of a new beginning for Genesis and for the world right now as we get back to Elam and as things open up a little bit more. So, just as we've all been dreaming about what life looks like on the other side of a pandemic, the elders and the staff have been dreaming and imagining what Genesis will look like as things open up a bit more and as there's more that we're able to do both inside the church and outside of it. So this morning, Steve and I want to take just a little bit of time to talk about five key priorities that the elders and staff have affirmed for the church as we look to the year ahead. And so Steve's going to talk about each of those five priorities, and then he's going to kick it back to me, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the budget impact. And the timing's actually really good as we get close to our next fiscal year, and in a couple weeks, we'll be presenting and the budget at the annual meeting and asking for a vote. And so, out of transparency, want to talk about how those priorities will impact our budget and how you can play a role in the future of Genesis. So, Steve, I'll kick it over to you to talk about the five priorities for next year.
Thanks, Andrew, and thanks, Allie. Wow, that was amazing. We as a church, staff, and elders have been really talking about pivoting from what has been a season of good looking inward as Genesis folks to pivoting to looking much more outward and seeing where God is calling us to love and serve the world in the name of Jesus. And so this next year, these are our five big things. The first one is loving and serving Robbinsdale. We're going to partner with Elam Lutheran Church, and we've already started this little team of people that we're calling it the Good Neighbors Project. And we're going to learn a lot about who our community is and how we can best love and serve them in the name of Jesus. That could look like opening up a gym for people to play basketball. It could look like meals when we get to do that together again. It could look like partnerships with organizations right here in town and in North Minneapolis that are doing really good work. So loving and serving Robbinsdale. And then the second one is creating a great middle school ministry. We know that we have kids that are growing up, and Allie is going to be in charge of this, and we are so excited about having Allie lead this, but also about creating a robust space for our middle school kids to be together. We are also, and we're going to say this out loud, Allie currently is at 30 hours a week. We're in this next budget, we're wanting to raise her to 40 hours a week and be full-time. We believe that's important for us as we're expanding the role in terms of middle school ministry, but also just recognizing the amazing pastor and leader that Allie is. And so when we get into the, yeah, we got some claps here in the room. When we get, a lot of those are from Will and from the rest of us. So that's number two. Number three is we're going to be pursuing what denominational and or network affiliation could look like now that we've officially voluntarily left the Covenant denomination. So for now, we have a team of people that are being put in place right now, about 6 to 8 people who are going to be doing lots of research and then presenting congregational conversations so we can get lots of feedback with the goal that at the 2022 annual meeting, we can have a next step for our members to vote on. Number 4 is living into and engaging with our LGBTQIA inclusion statement in a way that welcoming in new folks into our community, and also learning more and more about what that means for us. And so we're going to have learning circles and theological environments in which to learn, and I'm really looking forward to that. Lastly, we are going to be, and we've already started this one, this is a big one, moving into doing hybrid worship in a very engaging way, both for the people that are in the room here at Elam and for the people who are watching and participating online. So we want to take a lot of time, energy, and effort to make sure that it's a really engaging experience for both online folks and for people who are here in the room. So those are the 5 priorities that we're really excited about. And now I want to turn it back to Andrew to talk about the financial implications of that and how you can get involved.
Thanks, Steve. We're really excited about these priorities and what our church will look like as we pursue these together. So want to talk a little bit about the financial picture of this and what to expect and what to be looking for when we look to approve the budget to pursue these 5 priorities. But first, want to start by talking a little bit about where we were kind of before COVID and before last March. At that time, as a church, tithes and offerings were averaging on a given month between $27,000 and $28,000 a month. It's a little bit higher in December, but a typical month was $27,000 to $28,000. We set the budget last year around this time at $24,000 a month, and that was a little bit of a guess because we just didn't know what to expect with the pandemic. And frankly, we've hovered kind of right around that 24,000 for the first half of the year. But since January, our tithes and offerings have decreased a bit. And right now, we're averaging between $21,000 and $22,000 per month in tithes and offerings. And this isn't a huge surprise to us, given the impact of COVID and what that's done on people's finances. We're not surprised. In fact, we're very grateful for the ways that the church has continued to give and remained consistent in their giving. So please hear that this is a thank you. It's been hard for all of us and harder for some. And so those that have been giving and giving consistently, thank you. And we're also in a pretty healthy and good position. We're in a pretty good cash position when the pandemic started, and because expenses have been a little bit lower as we've been mostly virtual, we've been able to maintain a good cash balance. We have about 4 to 5 months of expenses in the bank, and so that's a good place to be. But however, as we're looking to build into these 5 priorities that Steve laid out, and because these priorities are going to require some financial backing, the elders are recommending a budget of a little less than $318,000 next year for expenses, and $324,000 as a budget for tithes and offerings. So that's about a 10% increase from last year's budget. And what, in simple terms, if you think about the $21,000 to $22,000 a month that we're bringing in right now, or have been these last 3 months, we need to gradually get back to that $27,000 to $28,000 where we were pre-pandemic. And so the budget that we're presenting lays that out, that basically from June to December, we'd incrementally increase and get back to that at least $27,000 by January 1st. So said another way, in order for Genesis to really pursue these 5 priorities at the level that we'd like to, and that Steve laid out, we need to raise our budget or raise our monthly giving by about $5,500 between now and January 1st. So you maybe saw where this is going. This is an invitation for those that are already giving, and for those that have maybe been attending Genesis but haven't yet made the decision to give. This is an invitation for you to join us in pursuing these 5 priorities as a church. And I want to share just really kind of plain and simple what that could look like to bring that extra $5,500 a month in the door for our budget. One way to think about it is that it's 20 families. 20 families could make up this gap that we have right now between now and January. If 5 families invested $100 a month, that's either increasing their current giving by $100 a month or starting new at $100 a month. That would be 5 people, that'd be $500 a month. If on top of that, if 10 families or individuals invested $250 a month, either for the first time or on top of what they're currently giving, that'd be $2,500 a month. And if 5 families could invest $500 a month, either more or starting fresh at $500 a month, that would be $2,500. And collectively, those 20 families would bring us to the 5,500 that we would need to go from the 22,000 to 27,000 plus, and really fund these ministries and priorities that Steve's laid out. So this is an invitation and it's an ask. We are excited about where we're going as a church. It requires some resources, and so if you're not giving yet, want to really encourage and ask you to start doing that. You can give monthly and you can set up that recurring plan right at genesiscov.org/give. And if you're already giving, maybe you're in a spot where you could do a little bit more. Maybe you could increase your gift just a little bit right now to help pursue these priorities. Now, we know that it's not going to work out exactly like those 20 families that we laid out. So every little bit counts, every gift matters. And again, we're so grateful for those of you that call Genesis home and invest your treasure and your resources in the work of Genesis. The last thing I want to say around this is that it's really hard to budget in this season. It's hard to know what to expect, what the economy is going to do, how that's going to impact tithes and offerings. And so just want to give everyone some assurance that as an elder team and as finance chair, we're going to be looking at this really closely on a month-to-month basis. And we've laid out a scenario where we maybe achieve this by January. But with that, we've also laid out some thresholds in the budget that we're not going to start spending until we really see that we have the resources or the financial backing to do it. So we're going to be really careful about this. And just as it may take longer to get back to where we were, it could also happen faster and sooner. And we may be able to say yes to some of these things sooner if, as a church, we're able to get to that 28,000 collectively. So we're going to report on this. We're going to continue to update during announcement times just how we're doing as we move towards where we hope to be with the budget. And we'll continue to communicate about, lay out the budget and allow you to see it and see what's changed as we look ahead to our annual meeting.